Lost Nation Archery in Brenton, USA now presents Lead and Limbs podcast, where broadheads and brass collide, with your hosts Nick Carpenter and Blake Mallory.
And we're live.
We're going.
Today, man, we got to talk about Michigan.
Dude, I've been so excited to talk about this.
We made a special trip into the studio on a Saturday so that we could talk about this.
I have been, every time I pick up the phone, I'm like, have you heard? Have you heard? I've been looking forward to this one.
Yeah. And, we'll probably recap this again when we can grab somebody else, some Michigan native, and pick their brain a little bit. But we called a couple people this afternoon, and man, everyone's got stuff going on. It's Saturday, and it's warm outside. And I don't blame you for not wanting to be in the studio with us.
Yeah, it was such short notice, but
Yeah.
we really kind of wanted to get just a third angle of the
Because we both know where our opinion lies on it.
Which this is what we're going to go into, because our opinions do differ on some aspects. But anyways, let's kick it off that Michigan NRC hosted a meeting on, I believe it was Wednesday.
Yep.
And it was standing room only.
For 8 to 10 hours.
It was longer than that. I think someone said they didn't get out of there until 8 o'clock at night.
Wow.
Wow. I do know that they were wrapping up the meetings and going over the addendums, amendments, at just after 6 o'clock at night. So, but I watched the live stream. I watched certain parts of the live stream already 3 or 4 times, just so that I could wrap my head around how things were going, what their takes were, kind of could start to look at and read, the board, the NRC, the commission, and also I watched the DNR presentation, and then I've been watching a ton of other people's opinions and stuff like that and breakdowns. But
Got to stay out of the comment section. Holy cow!
I can't even get in. Like
They're so separated. I thought there'd be some common ground there, kind of like you and I have. We have a lot of common ground.
Yes.
But
Agreed.
there is such, and it may be just keyboard warriors jumping in, but there is such an opinion like we don't need to change a damn thing, and this is all stupid stuff that they're doing. And then you got the other guy that's like, let it all go. Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, so it is so far apart.
Which I do want to say that from everybody I heard at the meeting, everybody was civil.
Sure.
And there was split opinions down the board. And when they had the free talk for people to come up, and I think they had like 5-minute sessions and 3-minute sessions that people could talk. So, but it was split across the board. Everybody was civil. But man, you get out of comment section on social and it's not civil.
It's not civil.
Yeah.
These people are ripping each other out. And they probably weren't people that were in the meeting.
No. Those people weren't in the meeting.
I mean, and 9 times out of 10, those guys are.
Those are keyboard warriors. Yeah. So anyways, at the meeting, the DNR presented their recommendations. Now, the DNR doesn't have the decision to change these rules and regulations going into the 2026 season, going into the 2027 season. They basically kind of break down some statistics. They give their recommendations. They kind of steer the NRC to where they kind of want to go. And overall, I thought they did a very, very good job. I didn't think they were looking for anything drastic. They actually did propose a $1 rule for 2027. And they specified the reason they're definitely leaning towards 2027 is that deer tags have already gone on sale in Michigan, and they don't want tags that are
you're going to have to deal with those overliers.
Yeah.
You're either going to have to pay them back, or you're going to have to just deal with the fact that they've already got to.
Well, and the thing is we'll get into that, but the tag, all they would have to do is the ruling in the rule book, that second tag on that combo just wouldn't be for another buck. It would be for a duck.
But you paid for a combo tag.
You pay
combo tag price, or fucking dope tags different. Nope,
it's all gonna be the same.
Okay.
Well, at least if it all goes into play.
Yeah.
So that's a crazy aspect that we have in Michigan is that the NRC could listen to all this. They can make all these amendment changes and they could come back next month and be like, everybody gets free buck tags. Like if they, I mean, they're not gonna, but
they could.
they could. Like they could.
And who appoints the NRC?
I don't know.
I mean, I've never dug into it, and that's part of the problem. That, you know, I'm just as bad as any other Michigan keeper warrior. I have my opinion, but at the same time, I've never really dug in to see how we got where we got.
Yeah, like, man, it feels like I blinked and all of a sudden there was an NRC.
Yeah,
like it does. It doesn't feel like, I don't know, but I've been talking with everybody, and back in 1998, I believe Michigan went from where you used to be able to kill 2 bucks in archery season and 2 bucks in gun season.
Okay.
And then in 1998, we went to the combo tag. That's when the combo tag first came out.
Sure.
Which is funny because you and I would have been only to buy archery tags. At that point, it would have been not until 1999 we could have even bought a gun tag.
Yep.
Because when Nick and I started, you had to be 14 to gun hunt.
Right.
And you had to be 12 to bow hunt. So there was a period where we could only buy archery tags and we still weren't allowed to gun hunt.
Yep.
So we could only get 2 anyways then. But so we'll just start easy with a couple of the regulations that they're going with.
Yeah, I think you should list them all off first. So this is what they're planning. This is what's been recommended.
Okay. So DNR went into their recommendations. The recommendation was $1 state starting in 2027. They recommending to keep the combo tag. And when you go buy a buck tag, it is now a buck and a doe tag. It is not 2 bucks. Then the single buck tag that some people are accustomed to buy, if you were just like, no, I'm only going to buy 1 buck tag, that would just be a doe tag.
Okay.
So they would basically, that tag would still be there to buy, which is odd, but they said that about the system, they can't change it or whatnot.
Gotcha. So it would just be a doe tag.
It would be a doe tag. And then there'd still be universal doe tags.
Okay.
So one of the things that RC was also addressing was they wanted to reduce the doe tags from 10 to 5, which I don't understand the reasoning behind it, but I don't know anybody that buys more than 5. So in the long run, it doesn't really affect anything.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
we probably do here on this farm. We probably buy 5
as a collective. Yeah, you buy 5 a person, but I do think the reasoning behind people wanting the reduction of it is that if one person had 20 acres and they're like hell bent on killing deer, and they went and bought 10, it devastated that one area.
Yes, you could.
You could, but the thing is like if I bought 10, I've got a lease property, I've got 2 permission pieces, I've got my cabin up in Nuevo.
Right.
I mean, I spread that out. I don't kill 10 on one, but last year we killed. I killed 2 does. Emerson killed a doe, and Piper killed 2 does, all on one property. But there's quite a few there.
Yeah, that lasts a little bit.
But okay, so that was another one of the regulations or suggestions. The other one, which does affect us, we're in Southern Michigan, Lower Peninsula, Southern Michigan, which has from beginning of time felt like it's shotgun, and then it switched to shotgun and straight wall cartridge. So down here you can use a shotgun, you can use a straight wall cartridge, or you can use a muzzleloader.
Yeah, and there's some kind of in betweens there for pistol calibers.
Yeah. But now, correct me if I'm wrong, you can use a rifle for coyote hunting.
Absolutely, and at night.
At night. So it was illegal to use a rifle for a deer during daylight hours, but it was legal to, and I think that's kind of where this is stemming from.
Yeah.
And so the DNR gave their position that they had no position. They didn't weren't opposed, or it was fine. And then also the NRC had met with the state police, and they also said no safety issues, or they were opposed or for. And the way that felt was that was kind of going to go through.
That's going to come.
Because I do think they feel like if they open up all weapons, they're going to get more hunters. They're going to get more deer dead.
Probably.
So it's one of those options. So we've got gun rule change in Southern Lower Peninsula. We've got 1 buck tag. We've got, I'm trying to think from the DNR. Those are from the DNR. You went through it all, and I was like, okay, it's, nothing too crazy. The muzzleloader season, which we've been accustomed to forever, and then it got switched to basically any
second gun season.
Yeah, any weapon for Lower Peninsula, Southern Lower Peninsula. Then they bumped it up. My cabin last year was in that zone where you can use a rifle during the late season. And then now they want to, because of confusion with the wording, eliminate in the word muzzleloader from any of it. It is now just late gun season.
Okay.
And it will be a 3-day season. What they're suggesting is a maximum of 3 days or a minimum of 3 days. Just a 3-day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, after a quiet period of the season closing, which doesn't really bother me. One, I'm usually in Kansas anyways, and I usually always miss that season.
Same.
But I don't find it a bad idea. One of the things that did not come from the DNR, but I watched the whole live stream, and towards the very end, the NRC started putting in amendments to be voted on. And of course, getting a phone call.
I know we gotta wait. We gotta wait on his phone call because it cuts out the speakers on his phone.
Yeah.
Go back to that. So the NRC ends up putting in their own recommendations at this point to be voted on.
Yes.
So we went from the DNR's recommendations. Now we're to the NRC saying, here's what we want you to vote on.
Yeah. So the DNR went and gave their presentation, which was very well done. And then it was open for public discussion. So then the public started to come up, and they went through, and everybody talked, and it's kind of entertaining, just to see everybody's perspective. And, everybody's trying to manage the whole state as a whole. And then you get down to, mom and pop's ground.
Yeah, the guy managing his talk.
Yeah, you get down to all these personal, which that's on the small scale. Like, this is what they see on their property. This is, and every person that got up there and spoke, they're not on an island. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of people behind them that have that same mentality with every perspective that came to that table.
Yeah.
So they are speaking for, I'm sure there was probably someone that said something kind of crazy that they were by themselves on. Yeah. But after that, after the NRC listened to all of those, they then gave amendments to be voted on. And one of the other big ones there was making our deer season opening day the Saturday before Thanksgiving. Making deer season a 9-day, or I'm sorry, I'd say deer season.
We're talking rifle season.
Gun season, firearm season. It would be a 9-day season starting after, or the Saturday before Thanksgiving. And then there'd be a quiet period, and then there'd be a 3-day late season, which, quite honestly, a 12-day gun season, I can't complain.
Yeah.
I've been asking for that for years.
I think we all have that.
Yeah. And not to mention, I'm selfishly, it gives me a longer bow season. I
personally think that will be the largest change that will save whitetail, a mature whitetail.
I do. I agree. I love it. At that portion, I love. I didn't know how I exactly felt about it. I listened to it, and I did not make any decisions. It was crazy. I stayed up so late watching that over and over again.
And I was going to watch it while we were traveling, and I started watching the phone.
Well, I told you.
Man, it is tough for me to watch this.
Nick and I talked on the phone after I watched the first go around for an hour. And I'm like, we need to talk about this podcast.
Yeah, we need to just save this all for a podcast.
We're still going to, because there's other things too. So one of the other amendments is that 1 buck tag would have an antler point restriction on it. Now, this is where I think you and I might differ a little bit on opinion here, but I do not think they should implement a 1 or an antler point restriction and reduce the buck tag. And my only thought on that is the antler point restriction is already going to be accomplished by going down to the one buck tag. Yes, there's still going to be somebody out there that shoots a spike more. Yes, there's situations in the woods where a deer has a broken antler, points just not one inch
It's not a
long.
perfect system.
And I also believe that antler point restrictions kill the upper echelon of your age class, of your younger age class deer.
So I think their idea there, and this is based on, you and I travel a lot. So, I've been to some states where this is in place. I've been to some states where it's in place with different things, mule deer, antelope,
spread restrictions.
Right. There's these things. And what they're trying to do is right now, and I don't know the statistics, but I'm guessing that probably Michigan's yearling buck harvest is so high that would solve that. Because most yearlings, I'm not saying all yearlings, but most yearlings are a spike 6, somewhere in there.
But
they're going to harvest the 2-year-olds.
But 2/3 of the state would still include a 6-point.
Right. But that is genetically motivated up there.
Correct. But you have a spike of 4-point and 6-point in a bachelor group early in the season.
Yeah.
The 6, you're shooting the best genes out of the 1.5-year-old buck.
And I'm not. Yeah. I mean, I'm with you there. I think that what they're gambling on there is the fact that they'll get more 1.5-year-old bucks to 2 years old. That's their. I'm like, yes, I think that they're going to shoot the upper echelons of those deer because you're shooting 4 on one side, but your yearling harvest will go down substantially to get those deer to 2. Which is something we haven't done in Michigan very often.
But what we also haven't done in Michigan is have a 1 buck test.
Strongly.
So if you have 3 1.5-year-old bucks that come in and one's a tiny little 8-point and you only got 1 tag and it's October 4th, that person's,
you got to shoot the 8-point.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
it's October 4th and a 1.5-year-old little tiny 8-point comes in and you're actually a hunter. Like you're someone who actually looks forward to gun season, looks forward to late season or any of those type of things. Your season's going to come to a close on that first 1.5-year-old 8-point. I doubt it.
I hope not. I mean, I hope that that's the case,
but this is my point too, is that go back to a hunter that hunts 4 times a year. Sure. And shoots 1.5-year-old bucks and usually shoots 1 a year and occasionally, like say probably once every 5 years, might shoot a decent buck, a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen, or they struggle to even fill that buck tag a year. So you take those considerations of those type of hunters and those type of people, which there's many of them out there. I mean, friends of mine, family, there's tons of them out there. Mm-hmm. And I'm not downgrading that at all. Though they're just as important as anybody who hunts 5.5-year-old deer only. Because they're going to stop out. They're just going to be like, what is even the point? I only hunt 4 days. Anyways, I'm only giving up 4 days. I'm out. I don't want to lose them. I don't want to lose a single hunter, period. That has been hunter.
When they put those restrictions in the antler restriction areas that we already have currently, because we do have some. Mm-hmm. That would be where I'm not arguing either way, but that would be where I would want to see that data.
No.
I know the deer population is still pretty decent, and I know that they're better bucks in those areas.
So I'm not going to argue that antler point restrictions don't work to some extent.
Sure.
That 100%. I mean, I'd
like to see what their harvest reports are versus and their hunter retention.
But if the goal, well, you can't judge that because a lot of those areas people travel to. Those are deer camp areas. Those are public land areas. And huge, vast public lands. And if someone is going up there and they're like, well, I just want to kill one. I got a spike over here. They're going to travel outside that area. That's where it gets hard to actually define that data. But my senior thesis in college, I literally wrote a deer management plan for what did I do? Implemented antler point restrictions. Like it is a tool. It does work. but the tool that you have too many variables to find out if this is going to work by implementing a statewide antler point restriction and reducing a single buck tag.
Yeah.
Like Indiana is a single buck tag and they don't have an antler point restriction.
Which they do have better deer now.
Then they have much better deer.
Do you think that they'll get all of this stuff approved?
No. Well, it's not all going to pass, in my opinion. It's not all going to.
Sure. But we both agree there's probably going to be a 1 buck tag, possibly this year, definitely next year.
That's my opinion.
And I totally agree with you. As a company gun owner, I totally think that we're going to be selling 6.5 Grendel and 6R shortly here. Great Lakes, 41 Great Lakes, you're out of business. See you, buddy. I mean, like they ain't going to be it. I mean, that's,
yeah.
You're going to have to adapt and overcome beautifully. We have enough calibers to accommodate anybody that wants to hunt a whitetail in Michigan, Indiana, Ohio. I mean, all of that. But somebody called me, Skeeter, when I was on his podcast the other night, he's like, what would happen if we lost the straight wall restrictions? And I said, we would sell rifles.
Well, just like muzzleloader season, I bet you muzzleloader sales in Michigan have dramatically dropped.
I'm sure they have. And honestly, we're positioned where we could weather that storm. It's just all those guys that bought straight walls from me. I guess you probably ought to go call me and we'll buy a upper for your gun and it'll be in 6.5 or 6.8 or 6.
Good news for you is we're close to Ohio. You still sell Indiana or Iowa,
Illinois, Ohio will not in the near future. No. Iowa probably will never. So
they don't need to. I think that's one thing that helps her.
They does. And let's talk about rifle. I mean, we've kind of covered everything that they're proposing at this point. Let's talk about rifles a little bit.
Just right before that, this is why I don't think everything's going to pass, is because they also put an amendment in to keep the UP a 2 buck area, but the DNR also advised against that because everybody's going to buy the combo, $2, shoot one in the Lower Peninsula, and then take a travel up to UP.
UP is not really a destination spot anymore.
No,
DNR, you want to do something really cool, get rid of the wolves. Yeah. Or get them so we can hunt.
I mean, that gets very impacted by weather and winter as well, too.
Well, and the argument there, though, and in this, in the 50s and 60s, and I'm probably going to get this wrong, that was a destination place to go with the UP to shoot good deer.
100%.
And UP is not that much different than Canada. And Canada has great deer.
Yeah, but
they have a different genetic.
But the population is, you go up there, you sit for 5 straight days, sun up, sun down, and you might see 2 deer. One of them's going to be a must.
I'm not arguing that, but you could sit up there in Michigan and you do not see those deer.
Yeah, you're not going to see that one.
And a lot of it is weather dependent, but I think they have the same climates that Canada does. Canada, I would argue, has harsher weather, but they don't do anything to protect that deer up there. I mean, when you start releasing wolves, and I'm sorry, but they're gonna hunt something.
Yeah, I mean,
and bobcats are hard on. I mean, they don't realize.
So are coyotes.
Yep.
I mean, coyotes are as well. But I go back to, I'm an environmental biologist. Like, I do think I don't want to wipe out predators.
I don't think you should. I think you should monitor or regulate. And I think it's just the same way that we should regulate any wolf population. I get why they brought them back and they want to work those elk over down out west. I mean, I get that. They need to. But there's got to be some kind of, like when we reach a peak, okay, we have what we want. Because ultimately, this stuff is put on earth for us to be able to enjoy.
Yeah.
If we can't enjoy the deer population, and Michigan doesn't have people that can enjoy the deer population up there in the UP, which used to be a destination place with a very big community around hunting camp. I mean, if you can't build that stuff, then saving wolves isn't better than that.
But we're a product. We've created our own system, and we've created it for failure. And what I mean by that is the reason the deer herd is huge in Lower Michigan is because the people population is growing. So what happens is we have more farms, we have more crops, we have a higher sustainable food system for more deer to live off of that land. UP doesn't have that. There's not as many crops.
Yeah,
apart.
there's no food up there.
But so we have more car deer accidents. So we then also have an explosion of coyote population. There's more fawns. There's more everything when you increase that. And I was just having this conversation with my dad the other day is, have you ever met a farmer that's looked at a 20-acre woodlot and went, how much is it going to take to doze that? They're looking to plant every 3 inches possible.
They do.
But
also we've been harvesting does wrong for 25 years. I remember, I'll never forget this. My granddad, I think he went to his grave without ever shooting a doe.
Because does make bucks, you don't shoot does.
Well, it was more than that, because they remember a time when there was no deer.
Yeah. I agree.
So you shoot mom, you're not having any more deer.
Yeah.
So stop shooting mom. And then it got to the point where we were like, Grandpa, if somebody doesn't shoot mom around here, we're going to have way too many moms.
Yeah.
And I think that was the mentality. And we all grew up like that.
Mm-hmm.
My dad probably didn't shoot a doe until he was in his 40s, because I mean, he's 56 now, somewhere in there. No, he's older than that now. He's 60. So we're talking, well into his 40s before he shot one, because I remember it was when straight walls were a thing. He started shooting does, and I'm like, where have you been? I've been shooting them forever. You know, I mean, I think that mentality has really transferred over. And thank goodness our youth that's still hunting, they don't care. They'll shoot does. But you got to look at it as a management tool.
Yeah.
At this point, we have to as sportsmen look at it as it's a responsibility.
Oh, I think if you shoot a buck, you have to shoot a doe minimum
3
of 1 per one. But yeah, you should be shooting 3 or 4 per one. It's depending on where you're at. No, if you're in the UP, that's a whole different ball game.
And I don't believe. I mean, I'm not a component for the 1-to-1 buck ratio. They did that in Texas for.
That's not a healthy.
It's not healthy.
It's not healthy.
It's not healthy. And realistically, here, we're probably 5-to-1. I mean, on my farm.
Yeah, on your farm, I was going to say, but not a majority in places. Like my cabin is probably 20-to-1.
Yeah.
Or probably not that high, probably 15-to-1. I bet you we were at 30-to-1 in the past. Wow. But my grandpa was the same way. It was a sin at my cabin to kill a doe.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely a sin. And I would take articles about shooting does and I would laminate them and I would leave them on the table at the cabin when I left. I'd put them on the fridge. And he shot quite a few does before he passed away. And we had a lot of discussion. And I'm like, Grandpa, look out back. This is back when you could bait a dump truck full load of carrots. I'm like, there's 68 does standing out there and there's not one buck.
Yep.
I'm like, that's an issue.
Yeah.
That's an issue.
Yes, we have deer. We don't have good deer.
Yeah.
And I think that's, I like the shift in Michigan. I'm cautious about it too, but it's the same reason I travel to other states, because they've already made those transitions and they're growing nicer deer. It's the quality of the deer. We have the genetics. We just can't get the age structure. So if they could compete, if they can do that, if we can get 3- and 4-year-old deer to make it, more than one. I bet I've got one on my farm right now that's probably 4.5 this year, maybe. But there was a time when we could have 5 or 6. And I think if you can start to do that, you're going to draw more people to hunt. You're going to draw more kids to hunt. You're going to draw more people from other states, which is good and bad. I mean, I'm sure Iowa hates it that we go there. Illinois probably hates it that we go there. But I mean, financially, they don't. I mean, I'm sure that any native does.
But that's why they restrict our tags.
Sure, which is what they should do. And they probably would get to that point here.
But I'm going to argue with you on our youth. It's if you're a child that grows up with a hunting family and your parents do it right, which I'm hoping you and I are. I feel like we are. We're doing the right things on how we hunt with our kids. That's not always necessarily the case. And so I saw somebody's crazy statistic that they threw out there, and I was like, there's no way that's real. It was a super high percentage of hunters were over the age of 60. And I was like, there's no way it's that high. I went and I did a little digging. So there is 20% of our Michigan hunters. Yeah. 20% of them are going to retire from hunting, whether it's pass away or are unable to hunt.
Sure.
Within the next decade.
Wow.
There only there's less than 10% of our total hunters are 18 or under.
Wow.
So we're losing hunters constantly.
And we're losing youth to video games. I mean, they would rather do that. My boy would rather do that.
But this
on occasion.
This is where the more complicated, the harder it is. And I think I brought this up to you the other day. You put an antler point restriction on that one buck. So now you're limiting, you got one buck, and you're limiting your opportunities to what may be harvested. And you've got someone who didn't grow up in a hunting family, maybe went to college or got a job, started hanging out with some buddies that were kind of into hunting. And it was like, kind of want to get into hunting. They're 22, 24, 28. How many of those age classes are coming in that are new to hunting? I bet you it cannot be high.
You wouldn't think so. Now, I recently just went through hunter safety with Devin, in the last 2 years, and that was full
of 22-year-olds.
No,
that's my point.
We lost that group of kids. I think you're right. We lost the what would it be? The end of the millennium?
Yeah,
I guess the end.
Born in 2000 to 2008.
Yeah,
somewhere in that ballpark. Yeah. So there's retention and recruitment. Our recruitment outside of kids growing up in a hunting family is terrible.
What do you think about them other states that have those restrictions in place? They're still bringing in hunters, and hunters just adapt to the fact that, well, that's what we do. We've done that our whole lives. South Dakota or North Dakota is a mess. I didn't realize even residents have to drop.
To North Dakota?
Yeah.
For whitetail?
Yeah.
When did they change that?
I have no idea. I was sitting there talking. We went up there pheasant hunting, and I was talking with a native, and he's like, "Well, yeah, in our area, I guess if we get drawn, I can." Well, what do you mean? He goes, "Well, we can get an archery tag, but a rifle tag."
Oh, it's rifle. Archery. I was going to say archery is over the counter for the resident.
He's like, "Well, we can't."
Well, yeah, North Dakota really pissed me off a few years back because we planned a whole mule deer velvet hunting archery trip.
Yeah.
And we had it all planned out. And I planned these things 2 years in advance.
Sure. Yeah.
And then that year, North Dakota made non-residents can't shoot mule deer with archery equipment. And I was like, we are set up to go to a mule deer area. We had to shift while we were out there, only focus on whitetails. We went 1 for 4 with 2 opportunities out of 4. And I shot one off the ground, whitetail. We could have killed a bunch of mule deer, but yeah, they pissed me off a long time ago.
But I think that those guys, they just adapt to it because that's the way of life, right? I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying that anything that we're about to do in Michigan is perfect, but I will tell you, Michigan needs to do something different because you lose a lot of people to the state. I haven't shot a buck 2 years here. I don't know. Did you shoot
2 years ago? You did.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
You just shoot one last year. I shot one last year.
Yeah, and mine was off the lease. I haven't shot one off the whole farm.
2 years ago, we got hit with the HD, and I shot a 5.5-year-old 5-point that had been wounded already by an archery hunter. He was a 2 or 3 by 5, and he was all funky, and he was messed up anyways. But
I guess my point is we need to do something as a collective.
I agree, and I think we're on pace with that.
I think if they do any of the stuff, we're going to see a major change. I think if you move the gun season, that will probably be the number one deciding factor. And that, because I've seen it in other states. And if you get that, and it's not even that it's out of the rut. It's not quite out of the rut. It's at the tail end of the rut.
Which is still good.
It's still really good. Yeah. You're still going to have very good opportunities, but it gives them just that little bit of safety.
It gets me excited thinking about enough. You're going to have a concentration of deer killed in those 9 days, which is fine. It's great.
You're going to need to.
It might actually make it. It might actually make it even better for deer harvest numbers with the reality, because you don't have such a wide range that you're trying to squeeze in a day here or there.
Well, and it kind of concentrates you into doing it, right? You get an opportunity to get deer or a doe, you're going to shoot it because you only have 9 damn days.
Yeah.
Instead of 3 months to do this.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably Michigan. Do something, but that would be a great one.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, one buck, I'm take it or leave it. I think it'll help. But if they don't, I would say let's trade for the antler restriction. If we're gonna do one or the other, I really don't care which one.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think if they were gonna keep 2 tags, and the antler restriction to a 4-point or better doesn't really do much at that point. So
No,
I'd rather have 1 tag.
I think so. In my perfect world, that this all goes down, that we get to hunt with rifles in Lower Peninsula. I mean, that's just
it's gonna happen.
Deer season gets bumped back to 9. Gun season gets 9 days.
Yes.
And we're a single buck state with no antler point restrictions. That would be what I want.
I think you'll see a bunch of that. I don't know if you'll see it all, but I think you'll see a bunch of that. And honestly, anybody that's out there complaining about that, they must not travel, because that's pretty much par for the course every state we go to.
Okay, so
The antler restriction might not be, but it might be for it might be on elk. I mean, like, it's got to be a branch antlered bull, or it's got to be moose that have to be 30 inches or wider. And there's so many rules out there for collective growing good mature deer.
but a branch antlered bull versus spike bull, that's not that big of a difference.
Yeah, it's in age. It's 1 to 2.
Yeah, but there's a definitive line there, because your spikes are going to be 1 and your branch are going to
Some.
be 2
Yeah,
for the most part.
I would say some. I don't know. I'm not an elk biologist by any means, but I mean, I've seen enough small elk to know that there's
My take.
velvet spikes
Yeah.
down there, and then there's 3-year-olds that still don't have branch antler.
Okay.
So
Okay, but that's probably a minority of the time.
yeah.
Whereas if you have good genetics and you have good nutrition, your 1.5-year-old bucks are going to be 6 points, 8 points.
I would hope. I say that, and in the last 5 years, we have had so many spikes.
Yeah. But
So many.
But the other thing is, the one thing I do think on spikes are if they're bred super late,
They're born late.
if they're born
Always
late,
be catching up.
or if it's a button buck and it's born very, very early. I've seen button bucks, half-year-olds, falling
Short spikes.
with short spikes.
I would believe that a button buck, a small sized buck that has short spikes about 1 inch long, is definitely a button buck that's born early. But I would say 9 times out of 10, we are just seeing 1.5-year-old spikes. They're not even early spikes. They're like 3s, or, just barely breaking or barely branching.
But then with the antler point restriction is, say you got that one good next 6 point that's a 1.5-year-old or an 8 point, who's got some really good potential. That 3 point is off limits. Whereas
I'm hard on the 8 points don't make 10 points, 10 points don't, like I'm like a hard stop there. And it's probably because I've listened to so much on it. But if he's an 8 point at 3.5,
at 3.5, that's where I believe
I would much rather shoot that deer at 3.5 and leave my 2.5-year-old 10 point.
I'll agree with you at 3.5
on one side or 6 on one side. But I'm selfish and I'm trying to grow 107 inch deer. You don't see too many 170 inch 8 points. So
it's hard to see
150 inch 8 point is. I've got one over there and he came from Kentucky.
They're beautiful.
They are. but
what I was just going to say is I completely agree with you, except a 2.5-year-old 8 point, I believe, still has potential.
Yeah, I don't think they're at their.
3.
I don't think they're at their echelon. I think somewhere in there they could split, or maybe they're just like we were talking. They were like late fawn.
Yeah,
and they've got that catching up to do. Now there is a study out there that says those late fawns never catch up. But
yeah,
I mean that's just their nutrition. I think that's based on where they're at and if they're going to get the nutrition they need. Southern Michigan is not lacking nutrition.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Farther north Michigan, I might buy into that, but down around here,
they're not lacking anything.
No,
even in a hard winter, these guys are still not lacking anything. Now, Michigan, if you want to do another great thing, you could bring back mineral, because I think we had better deer when we could put mineral out.
Yeah.
But that was just because it was readily available and they ate a bunch of it. I mean, I don't think that they would go seeking it out.
And I mean, you can use pretty sure in Iowa you can use mineral, but you can't hunt over it.
You can, I think baiting and mineral are allowed until season starts.
Yep.
And then you have to tip over your feeders and show that they're empty.
And you can't hunt over that.
You can't suck that site for a certain amount of days or something like that.
But you're allowed to give those minerals and then
Yes, which is again mind blowing. Kansas, I mean, same way. Kansas is even more.
Well, you can bait on public.
You can do whatever you want out there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't think we're that far off on the Michigan thing. I think that there is some people out there that are very, very upset that we're going to change things. And I think that you're going to see some of those changes come whether you want to or not. I think that some of it's going to be for the good. I travel to a lot of states that I would not travel to if I had 150 to 170 inch deer to shoot in Michigan, to pursue, not just shoot, to pursue. And I think
If I only had one tag and I tagged out on first week of October.
yeah, well, I mean, there's definitely, I'm not going to close my doors or get rid of my leases at that point, but it would make me spend a lot more time in Michigan. It really would.
So let me ask you this question. What do you think is going to happen to the hunting numbers? We're 600,000 tag hunter tags sold, or hunters in Michigan, 600,000. Wisconsin, we're right on par with Wisconsin.
Okay.
Iowa 70,000, which just goes.
That's a solid number. But still, Wisconsin has some of the best deer.
Yeah.
Arguably.
I mean, in some areas.
Well, arguably in the books. In the book, you know, and right, maybe Iowa doesn't care about books, but
I feel like Wisconsin is like everybody tries to get their buck in a book. It's crazy. But what kind of, no matter what, this is one of the downside is we're going to lose hunters no matter what decision comes on the board, is my opinion.
yeah, I think we're probably going to lose some. I think that's on the parents or the family to say, hey, don't miss an opportunity to be a deer hunter. I know that I've gotten some family members into deer hunting late in life, and helped. I mean, I'm helping two of them right now that have come back to the farm that want to do things different. And, they hunted a whole year on the farm with us here, and they didn't see a lot of deer on their areas of the farm. But I don't spend a lot of time grooming those areas.
Well, there's a lot of work that goes in.
Right. Yeah. And that's what they were asking. I was like, hey, what can I do? You've been given this gift, and this gift is a 400 acre farm and the whole family here to do it, to help you. What can I do to help? And, I would much rather they have a good experience.
Yeah.
And I would love to help them. And I'm going to help them plant food plots this year. We took 60 acres of it and made a management plan for them over there. And I think they're going to do very well the next 2 years there.
But see, you're putting in work and you're putting in time. And this is one reason that I don't like antler restrictions as well. I keep beating this drum. Is I view it as a form of socialism. Like, I need to control what my neighbor shoots so that I can see bigger bucks, and that it's like participation medal. Like, everybody goes hunting should deserve to see big bucks. I said, bullshit. Like, I will stand on the top of the mountain and scream this, and I don't care what someone who doesn't invest their time in, I don't care if they don't see big bucks. They might go out and, hunt, they put a pop-up blind 80 yards behind their house, and they see a couple spike horns a year. Great, but that's what they deserve for what they put in.
You're gonna have those outliers, though. I mean, I can use this farm for a great example. Is we have pretty decent hunting here, but we also have a lot of what I would call fence row hunters. And I'm not complaining with their fence rows. Some of those fence row guys own 3,000 acres of farm ground with no woods, because you're just like we talked earlier, they mow everything down.
Oh.
But that half acre next to mine.
Yep.
And they'll hunt that half acre. And I know that I'm going to lose at least 1 or 2, 2.5 to 3.5 year old deer out that edge every year.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if we got to 1 buck and they didn't shoot as many, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, in the end, the restriction there would probably help me.
Oh, it's going to help you 100%.
But we still lose really mature deer to people. And I hate to say it like this, but they don't deserve it.
No,
they didn't do the work.
No,
they just got lucky enough to hunt up next to our property. And we do the same thing on the lease.
But they might
say much.
But but majority of them, and this is the way I view it, is they put their time in over 10 years and got one. I put my time in every single year for opportunity every single year to chase the biggest deer that I can find on my area that I can hunt.
I feel like you'll see a big uptick on the farms that you hunt to.
I do too. I agree. I 100% agree it's going to happen. But with that being said, we've had this conversation. We're that guy on our lease that's 20 acres.
Yeah, 100%.
Like
we're screwing those guys.
Oh yeah, we can shoot one or two. We do not hold bucks there.
Nope.
Basically November 1st to November
farmer won't
10th.
let us plant any food.
Nope.
But it is a great transition area. We are going to catch the advantage of somebody not shooting at one. I've killed 2 over there.
Yeah.
And it is solely because I was in the right place, right time during the rut. That's it.
We've killed a few 130s over there. I let a 130 go. I still kicked myself for a couple years ago. We've had
the guys there. We're mean. And to our detriment, probably we could harvest more deer there. But usually, after one of us kills something on the lease, when there's 3 of us on this lease, it's 160 acres, but there's only like 20 acres of huntable ground there with woods. The rest is solar
panels. Yeah.
But we keep this because, again, when we have 2 tags in Michigan, and we are proficient deer hunters, we're going to kill something. But if we don't have a good buck to chase here, we have a good buck to chase over there. But once somebody kills one there, odds are pretty good that we're not going to go back. I think there's only been 2 years that we don't kill 2 good bucks off the same file consecutively in the same year.
Last year Eric tagged out over there.
Yeah.
But here's the thing too, is the next neighbor over are even worse than us.
Oh, 100%.
They'll kill the 1.5-year-old 8-point or 2-year-old.
And he's 100% got 3 acres next to our 20.
And they shoot them on our property. We literally have video of it being done
both times. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, I think all of this is going to help. I think there's going to be a lot of bow hunters that tag out and be done, and then probably come out during gun season to shoot a few does.
Well, and that's what I said too, is like, okay, don't put the endpoint restriction on it. My neighbor goes out on October 10th and shoots a 4-point with his crossbow. Bye-bye. You're done. like, yeah, okay, you're going to be out there late doe. You're going to try to kill a couple does and whatnot, but
you're done.
You're done. You're not going to be interfering with my bucks anymore.
I don't think that you're wrong there either. It'll be interesting to see what all happens here. I feel for the guys in Michigan that are fighting this, don't want to see change, love the things they have. I'd like to see your guys hunt property because it's probably better than mine. But as far as I would love to see it change here, and I would love to see Michigan for the better.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's exciting, nerve-wracking, terrifying, all wrapped into one.
And you can see the fear on social media. If you go on social media and start looking through the comments,
I'm done hunting.
Yeah.
And then I mean, one of my good friends, I talked to him the other day. He goes, I'll see it I'll believe it when I see it. And right. I go, dude, I will bet $1,000 right now. And $1,000, a lot of money in me, that by 2027 we're going to be at $1 state.
I think that's coming to fruition, and I honestly think that we'll be the straight walls will be eliminated. 41 Great Lakes will be a thing of the past.
Oh, so yeah, straight walls are going to take a devastating hit there for sure. But no, I mean, in 5 years we're going to be. I hope we look back on all of this going down and be like.
Yeah. I'll be 46 years old.
Still got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Just spring chicken.
Yeah, whatever.
Spring chicken.
My kids will see the benefit of this. I probably, I would hope that I was still hunting a lot.
Oh, we're going to see the benefit of it well before any of that. Like,
I'm excited about it. If all this goes through, I would be excited to buy another property and build it up. Well, and to do that, because I've been looking at properties in Illinois.
Well, I was just going to say,
Kentucky.
Right now is the time to buy in Michigan if you want the deer. Yeah, okay, it's still high, whatever.
Yeah,
it's going to be higher.
Well, and go over to one of those EHD areas where the property's still not.
And it's going to be bad
price, but it's. I mean, you could. Michigan prices aren't that cheap, but you could get a pretty good piece of property and still have something to talk.
It's going to be the cheapest it's going to be if this all goes into play in the next 10 years.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because recreation still is like the number one sale of property right now. Farming ground is something else. You can't touch farming ground if you're wanting to be a whitetail hunter, but
I'd be the worst farmer in the world.
yeah, well, that's exactly how we are out here.
You're like, no, I think that 20 acres of corn, we should just leave it brush hog half.
You don't know how many times I've tried to like convince them that, we could plant soybeans underneath the irrigation on like 30 acres of it.
Oh yeah, you've already told me about it.
And then just leave it.
Just leave it. Let's have the only standing soybeans come winter.
Yeah, no, under irrigation. Come on, let's do it. Nope, heck no. There's no way. There's so much money to be made there. And we were farmers forever. We lease everything out now. But I mean, granddad was a farmer, and I was his farming hand forever. So I get it. I know why they do it. I understand where the money comes from. But
I'd be like, yeah, we should plant trees right down the middle of that field.
all I look at it for is the irrigation is out there to water my food plots. That's
yeah, that's a really expensive food plot.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy to think of where we're at. I didn't think.
I honestly didn't think we were gonna get any better. I mean, Pennsylvania's right there. That's kind of terrible too, but Michigan always gets pointed out as the one.
Yeah.
Like when you hear another podcast where somebody's from
Michigan's the worst.
Well, we are bad, but at least we're not freaking Michigan. And so if we could in one fell swoop, we could be like, well, see, now you are the worst.
Yeah, like literally in 5 years. It would take 5 years, and then you would just see a traumatic uptick in age class.
And if you guys are wondering about it, go look at Indiana.
They did it.
Go look at that. They did it. And they're having substantially better results than they expected. So, and that's just one thought. And they went to rifle. I mean,
yeah.
Well, they jumped. It was something because Scott and I were talking about this on the way home, and it was something to do with like in the last 10 years they went to high powered rifles at that northern line. Like they had a line over there, and now they're So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somebody else. Maybe Scott's wrong. I don't know. But either way, they're fully rifles because that's always been a weird thing. We got straight walls in between a rifle area and another rifle area from the north. So really, we should be rifle as well. That's been my argument forever. I don't care. I own a gun company and it's still my argument.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not going to make you any more accurate. I'm sorry.
No. And the farthest out west I've ever shot a deer is 272 yards.
Yeah. We can shoot further here. I mean, like, don't get me wrong.
Oh, 100%.
We've got rifles that we shoot at any 100-yard range out here. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to be shooting deer at that range.
Well, no. And you would have to, have to be an ideal setup.
Yeah. Your effective harvest range is still your effective harvest range. And the kinetic energy of that bullet is still the kinetic energy of that bullet. And if you don't know wind, there's always that. And once you get out past 300 yards, wind's a factor, whether you want it to be or not.
But, and this is kind of one of the reasons, I might try to go do some law poking for those. I mean, why?
Well, I got the room to do it here. Yeah, we could do it. Yeah, but I mean, I guess
300-yard shots.
I guess the argument is if you do it on a doe, you might as well do it on a buck, because if you have the respect for the does, then it doesn't make any difference,
It's not that.
They're not commodities. I mean, unless you're a farmer, then they're a freaking nuisance.
Well, that's what I mean is you've already tagged out. I'm always, and I'm not saying that for the respect of anything. If my wife knows this because she has to listen to me all the time, I'm always looking for that next challenge.
It's a definite challenge.
And that challenge might be going to my cabin and killing a buck on public land. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go shoot a 150. That I can guarantee. But
if 5 years from now,
I don't know. The nutrition up that way is a little different than
I mean, here we can start to see 150-inch deer again. I've killed a lot of
consistent
150-inch deer.
Consistent. But that's the difference.
It's not every year.
No. I mean, I saw 2 years ago. I saw 170 that I was chasing.
Yeah, I saw a comment, just one, and he was like, if you want a big buck, you just have to hunt for them in Michigan. They're here. And you put it in all caps. They're here.
They are
here, but they're not here like they are in Iowa, Illinois, Kansas, Missouri.
No.
And they're just
and I 100% agree. What was the reason I started going to Ohio was because you consistently saw 3.5-year-old
Yeah.
bucks.
Yeah.
As opposed to 2.5-year-old in Michigan.
And it didn't make you shoot that 3.5-year-old buck.
No, okay, did.
Okay, so maybe it did. But for me, it
At
was
the
like
time.
it was an eye opener. Like when I went to those other states, and all of a sudden your third 120 walks past you, and you're like, okay, I understand now. I get it. I understand. Even on public land, it's I don't know. I mean, I know you got to find amount of time there and all that stuff for public land. So 130-inch deer looks great, but you know, there's people out in public shooting 200-inch deer in Kansas
Yeah, Iowa.
and Iowa. Yeah,
I've seen
on the regular.
the biggest non-typical I've ever seen in my life was in Iowa on public ground. And the biggest typical I've ever seen in my life was in Nebraska on public ground.
Yeah,
Both bow hunting.
Yeah,
And both within 150 yards of me.
and yet I think the biggest deer in Michigan that I have ever seen was like 180, and
I've never seen a 180 in Michigan.
I mean, and I saw, I mean, one time, and I've seen people who've shot.
I wish we had Miller on here because we talked about him missing a 200.
Oh yeah, that was a. When he was young, he was.
Oh,
so
yeah,
young.
yeah. Oh, I told him, no, I'd wake up in the middle of the night and have night terrors on that. And he goes, yeah, I do. So,
Yeah, imagine.
yeah.
But I mean, they're here. To his point, they are here.
You have to earn them.
Yeah.
That is for sure. Yes, extremely lucky.
But honestly, we all want to see good deer, and if you want to see good deer, you have to make changes.
But see, and that's where I go back to. I'm not the type of guy who wants to restrict my neighbor from what he can shoot.
No.
I don't know his situation. I don't know what his, he might have
No.
somebody sick in the family this year and wants to just go shoot a 4-point and clear his mind.
And I think that your 1 point or your one butt is going to eliminate.
I agree.
It's going to help you. But I told you, like, from the beginning of this, if they change the gun season, life will get better here.
I've been an advocate for that well before this one buck talk.
And my dad kicked in another one. He was like, then they should make seasons for crossbows. And I'm like, you're not wrong. You're not wrong there. He's like, give it them 2 weeks and don't give it during the rut. And I'm like, not wrong.
I got buddies that are like, yeah, crossbows are terrible. Give me that crossbow. And they hunt with it every time. One of my best friends hunts with a crossbow all the time. A couple years ago, shot one of his compound. He's like, man, that was so much more fun than shooting with a crossbow. And then he goes back to hunt with his crossbow.
Yeah. I mean,
Because it's there. It's easy. It's
Well-
consistent.
but if you're a good shot with a compound, you're still restricted at 50 to 60 yards. If you're a good shot, if you practice a lot, and I'm stretching that, like 60 yards is a long ways on a whitetail deer. On an elk or mule deer, it's not. I've shot them out to 70 to 78. I think as far as I've shot mule deer.
I've shot mule deer at 60 with my compound, but I mean, that's
Again, everything's
not
perfect.
average.
Everything's perfect.
Yeah.
With a crossbow, a 60-yard shot with a crossbow is doable. It's not a given, and it's not a gimme. And I think you get a lot more wounded deer because people believe they can do that.
Yes.
Because
There's a lot of things that can go wrong.
Ravens will hit 100 yards. That does not mean that deer is going to be still standing there when you shoot the 100 yards.
That deer can damn near turn around and face the other way.
Yes, absolutely. And people don't get that. So I think that there's some yes, those things are deadly accurate. But I've seen people with Ravens miss stuff too.
Oh yeah. They're deadly accurate on a target that doesn't move.
Absolutely.
Yeah, those
In a situation
a lot
where
of
you're in your
variables.
backyard, in
Yeah.
a situation where, but they are, I will call them simpler for the average hunter. They're it's a simple way for them to get into the sport.
Well, you don't have to practice all season long.
Right.
You can
That's what I'm saying.
shoot for 2 hours before you go out the first day, and you're good to go.
That's what I'm saying. No, I could probably do that with my compound now because I have the muscle memory. I could go out 2 weeks before season, shoot my compound a couple times.
You shouldn't, but
No, but I can feel confident and
100%.
walk away from it. I couldn't do that with a recurve. There's no way.
Mhm.
I would never let my children do that. They need to shoot
Yeah, I got to earn it.
a little bit all summer because they just need that muscle memory.
Yeah.
Because I watch every year when we pull those bows back out, after we dust them off and we start shooting.
Oh, I forgot to look through the
What
deep
the
side.
hell happened? Why can't you guys hit anything? Why we're moving sights around, everything's moving. Finally, they get in a groove, and then we're back to where everything was back where it was in the beginning, and they're finally shooting, driving tacks. but it takes that time.
Oh yeah, I still remember that. There was we went about 3 months of the winter season, busted the bows back out, got Emerson, and this happened to my sister as well too. First shot, I'm like, why did you shoot 2 feet over the target?
Yeah.
The second time they go shoot, oh, I wasn't looking through the peep sight.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Well, it's there.
That's kind of key.
Peep sight, anchor points, maybe they grew a little bit, so their anchor point changed. I mean, there's so many things, and I would not let my kid. But now me, I'm 5'7", have been for maybe I'm 5'6", I don't know. But anyway,
You're tiny.
same arm length, same height. I'm a little heavier, but that don't change. That don't change this. I mean, everything's been the same. So, yes, when I walk back, I can probably pull my bow out, go out to 20, and walk all the way out to 80, and I'm gonna be consistent.
Yeah, but I mean that's my mentality with anything as well too. Is like, this is hunting season for me. Yeah, I don't have a tag in my pocket. I can't actually go out and hunt a deer, but I'm scouting. I'm practicing with my bow. There's a million things that's still going on.
I'm running cameras in 4 states. We ain't got antlers yet. I mean, we do have some starting to pop, but I mean, we're about to plant food plots. I mean, there are a lot of food plots here at this home farm. We got box blinds to move, tree stands to move. I mean, we do all this stuff in the off season because we love it. I don't get what else I would do. This afternoon, I was building ramps for my kid in a little area for them to ride their 4-wheelers in. So
my wife she showed me a table to buy that she wanted to put on the sun porch, and it was $150. I'm like, what do you want to do that? And I was like, I gotta put in for my Kansas tag.
yeah.
She's like,
and $250 right there.
I saw the realization when it clicked for her that it was Wyoming, Iowa, and Kansas. That's when she went, wait, what? She goes, I'm going to buy the damn table.
Mine doesn't even ask anymore. I tell her, we were trying to figure out one year and how much I spent on hunting, and she started adding it up, and she goes, we should stop. And I said, we probably should stop.
Well,
let's not talk about it.
But I figured out these systems. I've already booked my Airbnb for Kansas.
Sure.
We've already got our Iowa booked.
Yep.
Kind of it's almost like maybe a little payment plan throughout the year, so it doesn't feel as bad.
It's not as terrible when you can throw a little money at it down there, even if it's thousands. You're throwing it underneath the table a little bit instead of.
About Wyoming in January, early February. Just did Kansas, and then got next month, then Iowa.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
all coming. It'll be here before you
about $1,500 deep in the tags. Throw in.
That's one hub tag, just so you know.
Oh yeah, well yeah, I get it. But that is one thing in the meeting. They were, one of people's arguments is to reduce. If you want more does killed, reduce the doe tags. I do agree with that. And I don't think it should be fully reduced. I think your second one and your third one, buy your combo. It's $40. It's $40. You get 2 tags as a revenue. That is fair. I hate it when the DNR or the NRC come back with, guys, I've seen your scopes on your guns. $40 isn't that? Well, just shut up. That's not everybody's scenario. I buy my scopes. I'm different than you in terms of guns. I buy my scopes when they're discontinued and they're on sale. Yeah. My Vortex is one of the old ones because it was, a closeout sale.
Yeah, it's kind of an argument that's not really relevant. I mean,
no, it's not.
And realistically, what would it look like for your revenue stream if you changed it from 10 to 5? I mean, they're probably from 20 to 10. It's going to be substantial, and that's what they look at. You guys are already paying for it, and you count on this money. So how can I argue that you're.
Well, and this is how. The one other thing that we didn't touch on was, because I've heard people going, well, they want more deer dead, and they're going to take away a buck tag. Well, you got to consider that only 32,000 deer were second buck kills last year, or second tag kills on the combo. And I don't know, because I don't even know if that was only the buck, because you can shoot a doe with second tag. Yeah, second tag. But they're viewing it as they're putting the doe tag in everybody's pocket right from day one.
Yes.
And I agree with that statement, because Kansas comes with a doe tag. Yep. Iowa comes with a doe tag. Yep. Now, how many times am I going to really take advantage of it? I should more.
You should, because you're there. And that's your responsibility.
Responsibility.
It's your responsibility to do that.
It's just I don't want to pack out a doe.
Yeah.
I'm like, man,
Mess with the doe. But I mean, our farm, we have to.
Yeah.
It is a necessity. We've got, I think there's 6 or 7 of us now that actually hunt. And it is a necessity that every one of them takes 2 does at least.
no, I mean, sure, it's your
If we
responsibility.
If we don't do that, we've got 65 to 70 deer out in the fields in the fall.
So, and that's where you can find your challenge.
Yeah.
Like go out with your recurve, try to kill a doe.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. And then the late doe season is still going to be in effect.
Yep.
And okay, hey, I didn't connect on that doe with my recurve. I'm going to go out. I'm going to do my management, and I'm going to take 2 does.
And we always shoot several during late doe season. But for that guy that's got a buck tag and a doe tag, if he's filled his 1 buck tag and he still wants to hunt with his family and his friends, he's going to go out because he already has a doe tag because it came with a combo license. And he's going to freaking shoot one.
Shooting does is still fun.
Yeah, well, it's not nothing. I know. We better wrap this up. My phone's about to die.
Yeah, I just got 10% up here, so we're I did say if this for some reason went 2 hours, we're gonna make it 2 parts. But I think hopefully on our next episode we're definitely gonna have another guest, but I'd like to have another Michigan perspective.
I would too.
And before our results come out, and then I can't wait to have the discussions on
what they actually did.
what they actually did.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's exciting, scary time to be a Michigan hunter.
Yeah.
But I do think in the long run,
I promise you all will be okay.
it'll all be okay. We'll all still get to hunt next year. Let's just all still be on the same team, no matter what you believe.
That's right.
So,
All right.
until next time.
Thank you for listening to Lead and Limb Podcast, brought to you by Lost Nation Archery in Brenton, USA.